happy readers, I'm Liz, and today we're reading Catching Fire of the Hunger Games trilogy. I really enjoyed this book. I read the first book and didn't know what to expect at all, and my mind was blown, but at the same time I did not know what to think at all. But when I read this one, I just kept a fresh mind and like reminded myself of what was in the first one, and enjoyed this thoroughly, very thoroughly. To kind of summarize and get you caught up with, like, you know, what happened at the end of Hunger Games and to bring you into Catching Fire. At the end of Hunger Games, Katniss is just like, I have totally pissed off the Capitol and I don't know what's going to happen with my life. And so this one is 6 months later and they're about to go on their victory tour, her and Peeta. And so President Snow stops by and says, hey, you're gonna marry Peeta and you're gonna play nice. She's just like, okay, whatever, to keep my family alive and from keeping you from killing all of my loved ones. And so they go on this victory tour and she kind of finds out that she sort of started a rebellion. Katniss really likes standing up for what she believes in, and so a lot of people are finding inspiration in that, and they're like, hey, we got the Mockingjay symbol, and it's just become the sign of rebellion, which shows you that there is a lot of strife between the capital and the 12 districts. Well, not all the districts, but most of them are really, like, you know, stepping up and being like, hey, we don't like what you're doing, we don't like how much control you have in our lives, and we think you need to kind of step back. And so the Capitol is very pissed off, and they're like, well, actually, we control your lives. So when they're deciding what they're going to do for the Quarter Quell, they decide that they are going to pick victors, or previous victors of the Hunger Games, pull them together, pick 2 from each district, and throw them back into the arena. And so they go into the arena, and they become allies with some people like Finnick, and some of the older tributes, and surprisingly Joanna. They're not only fighting some other people, but they're also trying to stay away from the dangers in the forest. There's parts of the books that really just, the Capitol sickened me to death. I was just like, I would not want to live in this place. Although there are climaxes in the books where you're not sure what's gonna happen and there's a lot of action going on, it's more of a build-up to the final book more than really having like a resolve or anything like that. It really builds up to the third book, like how Deathly Hallows Part 1 movie is more of a build up to the Part 2. It is a good book on its own, but I wouldn't say it's a standalone book. I could say, yeah, you could stop at the second book if you wanted to. But I feel like I really want to read Mockingjay, and yeah. So overall, I thought the characters were great. They made me want to be better people, pretty much. Everybody from Peeta to Finnick to Katniss. I thought that the story was paced really well. I thought that it was really quick when it was action time, and then it was a little bit slowed down when they were just talking and stuff like that, but it wasn't to a point where you were like bored or anything. I thought overall it's a really good book. I feel like there was a surprise in every chapter, if not every page turn, and so I thought that was really awesome. And so yeah, I definitely give this book a 5 out of 5. And I hope you read it and check it out from your library, or buy it. I think you should buy it. I think you should buy the whole series because I think the series is amazing. And yeah. So I hope you have a great day and keep reading.